Hello everybody, CJ here. I'm elated to announce the opening of my store Emporium. I'm selling art prints and stickers at the moment, but in the future I definitely want to branch out into other forms of merchandise. Right now I only have 12 listings, but I plan on adding more content regularly to keep it fresh and new for you guys. You can find my recent digital paintings in my store. Some of the products you see you may recognize from some of the videos here on my channel. There's also some paintings you haven't seen on my channel or ever before, so make sure to check it out when you can. You can find the store in my link tree, which is found in my channel bio. My link tree can also take you to my other social media platforms and my portfolio in case you are interested in a deeper dive of my art. I hope you all enjoy my store and the many years to come as we journey through the potential of what could be. And don't forget, you can get to my store through my link tree, which is found in my channel bio. I hope you enjoyed the video. So today we're gonna be doing a sketchbook tour. This sketchbook is the third main sketchbook in high school. When I was in high school, I completed 3 main sketchbooks. The other 2, I did a sketchbook tour video and you can see them up on my channel. And this is the third one that I did. This is pretty thick. It had a lot of pages in it. And I really like how this one came out. It was a lot of like world building and stuff like that, like stickers in the front. I love it. And here's like the first page, kind of a whole bunch of stickers. I love making collages, so the front cover, well, not the front cover really, but the back was a little bit of a collage, but I put some stickers on it because I like those stickers. But yes, this is the front page. Here we have a little flip over sign and it has challenges. So we have 100 hands, 100 faces / expressions, 100 gestures, 100 observations, film composition thumbnails, draw more objects, practice storyboards, develop my characters and their universes more. And I could tell you I did not do any of these except develop my characters and their universes more, because like 100 hands, 100 faces and expressions, like that's a little too much. Man, I should have done it like at 50, you know, something more reachable, something more obtainable. Okay, this page is kind of ugly because of this big fat sticker here that said that I was gonna go to Full Sail University, but I didn't. It was really expensive, like way too much money. So yeah, this is the first page. You can barely see anything, but it was like a character concept of my gunslinger character, who is totally different now. Like, she doesn't even look anything like this, so it's pretty fun to see how much she has changed. This page, I was developing like a little fantasy world. It's the same fantasy world as I'm developing now, but it's completely different. Like, you wouldn't be able to recognize it. But these were sirens. They had like a fishtail. I'm pretty sure I drew some of these in a previous sketchbook, in the other sketchbook tour that I did that you can see on my channel. But yeah, they're pretty cool. I like how they look. I like their design. How the fins on their sides that would act like as gliding wings would wrap around their feet or their legs and form a fishtail. I think that was pretty cool. And here we have gesture drawings. You can never go too wrong with gesture drawings in a sketchbook. Honestly, I think they're the best way to loosen up in a new sketchbook and get comfortable with drawing in a new sketchbook. And they're pretty fun to do. And they are good practice. Oh, here's a cowboy. This was my first cowboy I've ever drawn. Yeah. And flip over for a knee, and this was the knee. Here I also did a muscle study. I think this was a pretty good study. I feel like this helped me with the muscle, but some of them are a little inconsistent. I mean, it's not bad. It looks good, but as a study, I don't think it was good. Like, here I focused more on making it look good instead of actually studying why the muscles would do that and what the muscles will do, instead of just adding it there. Now here was planning for my AP art class, my selected works, yes, because he was like, oh, it will help if your selected works were intertwined with each other. So I planned on doing escapism, or like the things that I seek comfort in. And yeah, I was just planning it out and planning some compositions out and stuff. Yeah, it's pretty ugly, so we'll move past this page. Oh, this was a sketch of my dog. She looks really scary in this part. Like, she looks like her eyes are just staring into your soul. And it's like this blackness around her eye. It looks a little scary, and I was not planning for it to be scary, but it just happened, I guess. This page, I love this page. This was a Christian Leyendecker study, where I really love his paintings and his painting styles and the way he renders. So I wanted to kind of study how he painted and how he did shadows and stuff, because I thought they were super interesting. How they would like form super cool shapes. So I wanted to practice that, and I think it turned out really good. And here I put some lyrics around, because I was like, oh my goodness, it's so aesthetic. So I'm just gonna put some lyrics around, and yeah, I think it turned out pretty cool. And here we are with some more world building. This was the Willow world. Let me take this out for a second, because that's not the focus. But this was the Willow world, which was kind of like the spirit realm in this world. And it says the Willow world. The Willow world is structured like a cell, which I thought was pretty cool, because I remember in like my biology class, and my teacher was explaining how a cell operates, and I was like, you know, that would make a really cool like little planet thing, like a little alien planet where everyone has their own function. Like, that'll be so cool. And then it says, with the nucleus being the world core, and the different structures in the cell would instead be landforms and buildings that the willows would live in. So yeah, I thought that was super cool. Just like how Earth's inside is very hot with lava, this world's inside is cool with water, which I don't know how much that makes sense, but here, that's how I did it. So it says the outer layer is the trees, mountains, and stuff like that, which is the pink here in the outer layer. This blue layer is the crust, which is like caves, you know, etc. And the yellow liquid is the phasmo liquid, which kind of looks like pee. I should have done the crust yellow and the phasmo liquid blue, because this is giving pee. It's giving pee a little bit. But the phasmo liquid is a substance that holds and separates the real world from the willow world, which pretty much the phasmo liquid prevents any physical matter from entering the willow world. All this around is the willow world, which is the home of the wisps and willows. And then this little thing right here, this green dot, is the core, which is the core of the world and home of the wisteria queen of the willows, which the wisteria queen was pretty much the leader of the willows. Oh, let me talk about this. This was a drawing of Harley Quinn. I think it turned out super cool. I put it here because I liked it. And I love the red in the background with the ha 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 written in white gel pen. I think that is so cool. Yeah, I'm very proud of this. I think the lighting is like done well because of how unsettling it looks, and the tear and the lifeless eyes. I think it's so cool. Here I was designing a race in this fantasy world that were called the Asham. And Asham are bioluminescent since they live in underground lakes, which is super cool. A lot of the designs that I've done are really cool, and I might want to revisit them, but since this fantasy world has developed so much, they don't really have a place in this fantasy world, so they kind of just been like pushed a little bit to the side. But yeah, they are shaped like, well, not shaped, but they are influenced by jellyfish, so they kind of look like jellyfish. And the role of the Asham is that they were half physical matter and half spiritual matter, so they can move freely between the phasmo liquid, so they can go into the willow world and out of the willow world, which was pretty cool. They held like gates open. Okay, I'm sorry for like going back and forth, but the Asham, they held gates open that would lead to the willow world. So these gates would be at the crust. That's why they would live in underground lakes. So yeah, they would cut through the whole earth, and then it would, you know, go into the willow world, which was pretty cool. Here, I was planning on making a cowgirl character for this world, which was the gunslinger character in the first page. This gunslinger character in the first page, but I decided to make her a cowgirl because I thought that was cool. Yeah, so I came up with quite a bit of these, and I settled on number 8 because I liked the shape of it, and I think her legs are super duper long in this one. It kind of looks like a fashion illustration, but yeah, I chose number 8 because I liked how it looked. I liked how it looked. Here I drew some hands, you know, trying to get those challenges in the first page done. So yeah, drew some hands, drew some expressions. I don't like how these expressions turned out, but later I did some, like, yeah, right here I did some expressions here. These were a study of a Disney expression sheet of like Flynn Rider, I think, and I really like how these turned out. I think I was able to get them more expressive because this one I took reference out of real people, and this one it was easier to get the expressions done because it was simpler. It was simple lines and stuff like that. And here was some prototype designs of the main antagonist, Vendetta, which I think Vendetta is like the only one that stayed through the whole thing. Like, don't get me wrong, her design has changed immensely, but she's still pretty much the same character. A full body shot of her, front and back. It's a pretty cool design, but I'm very happy with her where her design is now. I think it's a lot stronger. Oh, so in this sketchbook, they're kind of separated like into like little chunks and stuff like that. So between the transition of each little chunk, I wanted to do a sketchbook spread, and this one was gonna be Link and Zelda, but obviously I didn't finish it, and I was just like, I don't want to finish this, so I just moved on to the next one. And these ones are the ashram, which I brought up earlier, and they're the jellyfish people, and I wanted them to look very tribal, and I think I was able to do that. I think they look really cool. I drew this little orange jellyfish around. They look like candy. I really like those orange jellyfishes. Oh yes, there's gonna be beetle people in this fantasy world, which also stayed true, but they kind of look a little bit different than this, but it's cool to see how they evolve. Yeah, and these are just a whole bunch of little doodles. Yes, here are the more beetle people. I feel like this is more accurate to how they look like now. Like, they look kind of almost as exactly like this with ladybugs, and I wanted them to be like different types of insects and bugs, and they would live in like forests and stuff like that. Yeah, I really like that. I think that is very fun. And here's another drawing of Vendetta. I really like how this drawing came out and like how her hair is. Yes, I think it delivers a really cool energy and feel to it. Yeah. Okay, this page is a little bit messy, but I'll sum it up. So in this world, there's selens, which are kind of like elf fairies people, and they can shapeshift into birds to fly around. And I was designing how they would look normally, and they would have like fairy wings, but it would be like hair, and it would come out of their head instead of their back. So obviously they can't really fly in this state, but that's why they turn into a bird. That's why they turn into a bird, so that they can fly. And here I was doing some more planning for my selected pieces in AP. This sketchbook has a lot of planning because in my previous sketchbook, my previous one that I did in high school, I had to redo them because they weren't really planning sketches. Like, they didn't really explain why the things I was doing, why I did them. So I redid them so it was easier to understand for myself and for the AP judges. So yeah. And here is the bird form that the selens would turn into. I don't like it. I don't like it, period. That's it. I just don't like it. I don't like how it looks like a bird. But like, I don't like how it looks like a pigeon, is what I'm trying to say. So I redesigned them, and I really like how these look so much better. I think it looks so much cooler. And how the wings kind of merge in with the kimono design. I think that is super, super cool. And the hair still stays the same. I think this is a very, very strong design, and it's very cool. Very cool. And I did a silly little rap about Beat Bop because I remember walking to my class and I was with my friend, and there was this kid that had a Cowboy Beat Bop book bag in front of me, and I made a silly little rap on the spot. And I went to my class period, and I just wrote it down in my sketchbook because I was like, I don't want to forget this. It's pretty funny. So it says, beat bop, cowboy beat bop, about to bop to this beat cause this beat drop. Cut the beat, dog, I'm riding with me and ma, driving up the hill with a steep drop. Talking about steep drop, I got my jaw drop. Faye Valentine in the beat bop. Call me beat top. Why? Cause every beat I drop is on top. Cowboy beat bop. Yeah, it's just a silly little rap that was fun to do. Here's more planning. These ones obviously are a lot stronger as planning sketches. They're really cool. I really like how they look. I think they provide a pretty good vibe to this sketchbook. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. It's just planning on what this piece means and how to communicate what it means into the painting. Oh, here's some more Siren drawings with their fins wrapped around their legs to form a fishtail. Yeah, and they turned out pretty cool. Here's another Vendetta drawing. This one is pretty crazy. I'm glad that I did not stick with this design. I'm really glad that I did not stick with that design at all. Some more sustained investigation planning. I really love how these plannings turned out. I would like to do more plannings like this, but I don't really do such crazy paintings anymore. I mainly do them in digital, which is pretty easy to plan. But yeah, I still do plans, like I do little thumbnails and stuff like that, but nothing as crazy as these, because these ones I had to like really make sure that it was clear and kind of appealing in a way, because I was submitting it to be judged in a AP portfolio, so like I had to make sure that they were clear and they looked good. I'm happy I did these though. I feel like it helped me communicate the meaning and it was clear to me. So yeah, more planning. I talked about these pieces in the previous sketchbook tour if you want to see it. And here's some more expressions. These were from another expression sheet that was drawn, which I think these ones came out a lot stronger, and I feel like I'm getting more comfortable with my expressions, which is super great to see. And these little fish stickers that I got from Michael's, I love them. I love fish. I love the sea. I just love it. And here's a little doodle of a building. It kind of doesn't make sense at all, not one bit, but you know, I did it, and it was just a little doodle. Here's some more Siren sketches. I decided to make their tail longer and thicker because it was too short previously, and when their legs would wrap around it, like I thought that when their legs wrapped around it, it would look weird, so I made it longer and thicker so that it looked better. Yeah. And here's some more Siren drawings. I really like how this one turned out. I think the shape of the fin is super cool. And I gave them a little shark fin on their head because they're kind of, I wanted them to be like sharks in a way, even though this fin doesn't really match and these side fins don't really match. But yeah, I think I changed it later on to be more shark-like. And here I was designing an armor piece to kind of look like wings, but they were armor pieces, like they weren't actual wings, and they were called Valkyrie Knights. Yeah, at first I planned with fabric, like draped fabric, but then I was like, why don't I just literally do feathers? So it's armor pieces that come out and jut out to the side a little bit, and then it's just feathers hanging from the armor piece, which is pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Oh, here's some more planning. I was writing down the sizes because in the AP portfolio site you have to put in the size of the piece. So yeah, I was just doing that. And the materials. Here is a pretty weird page. I did a side profile of my friend. It kind of turned out a little bit ugly. I'm not gonna lie. And my friend, she brought some glass pieces, and I just put them in my sketchbook, and I really like how they turned out. I think it's a cool texture and they're colored glass, so I think that is super fun. And here I was drawing another beetle for the beetle people, a Capricorn beetle. And some more planning. Gluing in these pieces of glass made drawing weird because it made it super bumpy, which kind of sucks, but I'm glad that I put those pieces of glass there because it's pretty cool. This was a piece for war and explaining what was happening in the piece. And some more planning. This is the last planning because this was the last piece in the sustained investigation. And I got a 5 on this AP portfolio, and I think it was because of the planning. And I'm really happy with the 5. Here I was planning on redesigning her outfit, Vendetta's outfit, because I didn't really like it. And I like this part. I like this one, the super over the top like shoulder collar things and the webbing skirt on the back. I think that is super fun. Well, I lied. This is the last AP planning thing, which I was just writing as to what the theme was and what the theme was about and what I was doing and the timeline of events, like the order of which it goes into. Here I was drawing Vendetta again and her powers, her abilities, which was mind control, enhanced speed, telekinesis, web kinesis, flyrokinesis, which is like the ability to create shields, and invisibility, and psychic energy manipulation. I don't like these powers. Some of them stayed the same, like the mind control, but that one's a little bit different. But some of them, well, most of them are gone. And I'm happy with that because they didn't really make sense for her character. And this is another chunk done. So I did another spread, and this one I actually completed. And here I was really interested in the X-Men. I really like the X-Men. I think they're super cool. And Phoenix, or the Jean Grey, is my favorite X-Men. So I drew her, and I think this turned out pretty cool. And here I was doing some more planning for the Willow world, which you can see more how it's built like a cell. And the mitochondria in here, I think they were supposed to be the mitochondria. They were floating islands. Okay, so what I'm getting at it is there's a core and it produces nutrients, and the nutrients grows through the plants that were on the island, and then those plants feed the nucleus. Okay, so it's like the powerhouse pretty much. The floating islands are extremely wacky and can be seen as mini Neverlands like Peter Pan, with creatures and adventure lying within, each floating island being unique and each having its own name to identify them. That's pretty fun. That's pretty cool, pretty quirky. The gateways. So at the side, there's like these little green pathways. I'm pretty sure you can see them a little bit. And the Alet Asham, which were the guys that I was talking about before. These guys, the Asham, the jellyfish people, to pass through. This yellow thing is the mainlands, which is where most of the willows and wisps live and where their houses can be found. The mainland is also home to parks, lakes, restaurants, etc. And here is the forest, which is forest, aka the wispy woods, is where the jellyfly, the jellyfay take the nutrients from the floating islands, which were these ones. This sketchbook is pretty hard to decipher with my handwriting, but remember that the core produces nutrients and it goes to the plants. And the jellyfay, which are these little orange jellyfish little spirits, take that and they transfer it to the wispy woods, where it gets cooked / packaged and later taken into the mainlands, which feed the wisps and willows, and also Wisteria, which was the queen of the willows. And this little orange little poopy thing, this little orange thing, is the Court of Dreams, which the Court of Dreams is home to Father Sand and his nightingales. The nightingales deliver dreams, but the nightingales deliver prophetic dreams. Okay, Father Sand leads all of the night willows and tells them which dream to deliver to who. Father Sand also crafts the dreams. Father Sand also creates daydreams, saying day-ingales to deliver them. These daydreams serve as visions that people with prophetic dreams get. Okay, so that's that, pretty much. Another empty page, because why not? And here, I was in the car, and we were driving to the Hard Rock Cafe, like that big guitar building, because my sister was going to a Jonas Brothers concert, and I was just there to tag along for the ride. And I did a observational drawing of the car. It's a little bit messy, but I think it turned out pretty cool. It has some dolphins and stuff like that. Here, I was designing the sirens, seeing how they would look like with their fins wrapped around their legs and their tails at the bottom. Yeah, these fins are inspired by The Little Mermaid live action. And I drew another pretty weird mermaid tail that had like octopus tentacles, but it still had the mermaid tail. And these were called limniads, which were, I think they were spirits that lived in the floating island. Yeah, they will come back later, so I'll talk about them later. Here is the storyboard for an animation that I was working on. Yeah, it was just pretty much Phoenix the Jean Grey. Well, what? Okay, Jean Grey the Phoenix. Yeah, and it was just her transforming into the phoenix, becoming a bird, and flying away. And that was pretty much it. And honestly, it really helped me with the animation. It made it so much clearer to see the endpoints of each little part, each little portion. Yeah. And here is a little drawing of Vendetta, her little redesign. I do think that she looks really young, like 20 years old, which is not the vibe that I was going for. But yeah, I redesigned her later, and I really like it. But not in the sketchbook. You won't see her redesign in the sketchbook. You will see it in my other one when I complete it. So yeah. Oh goodness, this is another wrap. It's really bad, but it was just fun. Here is a little angel drawing, but oh my goodness. Okay. Old ties in my mind, old spice, smelling nice. Put that ice in my Sprite, make it mighty nice. Please no ice in my rice, put spice in my rice, make it spicy nice. Yes please, call me Santa Claus, got that naughty and nice. Let's go to Whoville, pop up a city in the Who. She on the nice switch, she want wait. What make my mommy happy, make that mama loud and proud. Didn't know it, then I met her, making all her dream come true. Let's just stay single mama, ain't no single mama no more. Bing bong, here comes the atom bomb. I'm starting to feel like an atom bomb. Tick tock, count down the time to pop, till I start popping like boom, boom, boom. It's really bad, but it's really fun. It was really fun to make them. Here's some more wisps. These were how the wisp were gonna look. Yeah, they're just little guys. And this was a limniad headshot. Limniad, aka mermaid. Yeah, these limniads were pretty much mermaids in the little floating islands in the Willow worlds. They would have like a whole bunch of fins coming out of their faces. Yeah, this is how the full body would look. I really don't like it. I think the headshot is pretty cool. This is pretty cool. But I don't like everything else. Like this, if it was cut off like that, that would be pretty cool, I guess. But other than that, it's pretty ugly. I feel like I changed a lot since high school in the things that I would draw. And that's a good thing, for sure. For sure, that's a good thing. Here's some more Vendetta drawing. I was, playing around with how I wanted to design her spider legs, her extra spider legs. And this was a little crackhead drawing that I did. This actually, when I was a little kid, I was making like a little card game X board game where you would like go around fighting these monsters, and you would have your own kingdom, and the more monsters you fight, the more like glory tokens you would get, or pride or glory tokens, yeah. And the stronger your kingdom will get, and like the more glory tokens you have, you can do war with other clans, and depending on who has the more glory points, then that will determine who wins. The rules were a little bit bad, but it was pretty fun, and it was pretty fun doodling all the little cards, and these were one of the monsters that you had to fight. Oh goodness. So okay. I was watching a MatPat video, and he was saying how mermaids would actually look, and I just wanted to draw it because I thought it would be fun. And he was saying that they would have big black eyes, like fish eyes, and they will kind of be a little bit chunky because they had to have the fat to be insulated, and they will be mammals instead of fish tails. Yeah. And then I just drew it because I thought it would be fun. And here's a awesome headshot. I really like how this one turned out. I really like the expression and the white irises. I really like how this one turned out. I'm very proud of how this drawing turned out. Very, very much like it. I like the white gel pens in this one. I like how this paper is tanned, so when you put white gel pens, it really stands out. Here, oh, Lake Lords. Okay, so pretty much, remember how I said that the Asham, they would live in underground lakes? So the leaders of those different clans that would live in those underground lakes were called Lake Lords, and they were the ones that had access, like direct access to the gates. Yeah, I draw very differently now. I draw very different things than what I did in high school. I feel like I was surrounded by so much worldly things in high school that it influenced me, and I'm so happy to be out of that element and focusing on myself, or focusing on my relationship with God. Yeah. And wisp concept art. These were how the wisps would look like, and there would be like little glowing balls of fire with wings. I think it turned out pretty cool. I like this page. I think it's a pretty cool spread with the blue pen. Yeah. Yes, a redesign of Vendetta. I gave her, I made her look more like a spider with these legs coming out and walking with these legs, which looks pretty cool. It stayed like this for a while, but I changed it once again because that's how character design goes. You change it a whole bunch of times until you like it. And that's what's happening with this girl, changing it a whole bunch of times until I like it. There was a little art club, the Art Honor Society, that I joined in my high school, and we went to Colley Square as a field trip where we would sit down and we'd do plein air paintings, and it was so much fun. And it was in the morning and a school day, so it was completely empty, and it looked so pretty as the sun was rising. And yeah, there was a lot of mosquitoes though because it was hot and it was close to summer, so it was getting a little bit humid. But yeah, this was like a gate, and it had like a whole bunch of plants growing around it and flowers. Yeah, I was sitting under like this gazebo kind of thing where it had like these poles holding it up. Yeah, it was pretty cool. It was really a fun day. And here are the Selens designs. I was fleshing out their clothing more, and I think they were inspired by Chinese or Japanese clothing. I couldn't remember which one I chose from, but it was inspired, I think it was Chinese clothing, but it was inspired by Chinese clothing, and I wanted to incorporate like elven fashion to it. So, and I was just trying to make a nice seamless blend between the both of them. Like elven patterns here, I had it on the dress because I wanted it to be like they were elves, but I feel like elves, they have been so overdone that I wanted to do something different. And I think this turned out pretty cool. But now they're not elves in this fantasy world, the new and improved fantasy world. They're not elves, but they still can fly. But I'll get into that in the sketchbook that I'm working on right now. A little sneak peek through it. Oh, that's it. That's all you get. That's all you're getting until I finish it, and I'll do a sketchbook tour, which will probably be soon because I am flying through that sketchbook since it's so much fun. And here is another character drawing of Lena Cruz. I like this drawing. I think the pose is really awkward though. It's really, really awkward. But yeah, you might be like, why does she have 4 guns? Well, in the planning, in the little character design, I planned for her to have another set of robotic arms that will come out. So she has like 4 arms, and she will be able to carry 4 guns because she's a gunslinger. And these wings, they were called Spritens, and they were kind of like the same tree, like the same character tree under Selens, but they looked different. These ones will be smaller, and they were like kind of like pixies, but they were ninjas at the same time. And they will be modeled after hummingbirds. These ones, the Asham redesign, I made them look more like mermaids instead because they live in underground lakes, so they're going to be in water most of the time. So it will just make sense if their design was capable to be in water most of the time. So they have mermaid tails instead. And at the end of the mermaid tail, it's like a whole bunch of ruffles because it's supposed to look like a jellyfish. Yeah. I did another design with it being longer, but I really did not like that at all. I think it looked super weird. Oh, another blank page. This was because I was gonna do another spread here, but I didn't. This was another Siren concept art. I'm really proud with how this one looked. I feel like it looks super duper clean and super cool. And the line quality is super cool as well. I really like how this one turned out. I think it turned out pretty sick. And here is a Siren profile shot. And their culture, it was supposed to reflect like Hawaiian culture. So she has like a facial marking, like a tribal marking on her chin. Yeah. Here is another ashram, just a simple gesture pose of an ashram. I think we're getting to the end of this sketchbook actually. And just some more. Oh, this was how the Spritens would look like. There will be tiny little people, and there'll be ninjas and a little frog butt. Another ashram design. I didn't like it. That's why there's an X. Oh, this was another ashram design. New clothing design, which I really like. They have the big jellyfish head. And these clothing that will be super flowy, which was supposed to look like a jellyfish head. And then you have the tail coming from the bottom. And you could see that I was seeing how it would look like if it extended over the head, kind of like a veil. And it would look like the jellyfish head was the whole thing. Like if you were to look at it from afar, it would look like a full jellyfish. Oh yes, Verin, which was what this planet was called. And the races. So there was a lot. There was Selens, which were light elves / shapeshifters that turns into a crane harpy. Sometimes the phoenix. That's a lot already in the description. And Spritens were the dark elves. And Sirens, well, they were just Sirens. Humans. Asham were mermaids. Scarabs were beetle people. Nymphs were fairies. And shapeshifters that turn into different woodland creatures. Nymphs turn into different woodland creatures to protect the woods that they live in. And these were designs of the nymph. They would kind of be like made out of wood, and these will be leaves coming out, and it will be their hair and stuff. And then you had willows, which were angels / spirits, and then hollows, which were vampires, which were the opposite of willows that were being controlled by vendetta. And yeah, I think this is the end. I think I was designing stuff for my Minecraft world because I was building a big cathedral, and I wanted to see, I did the overall shape of how it turned out and did something cool with the roof. But yeah, I was just doing some doodles for that. And some more Sirens. I think at this point I graduated and I felt like I had no place in this sketchbook anymore because this sketchbook was a period of my life when I was in high school and I graduated, and that book has closed, that chapter has ended. And this sketchbook, I feel like I didn't want to draw in it anymore because it was a high school sketchbook. Like, I graduated from high school. I don't want to be any part of high school anymore. So I was just like, you know what? I'm done with this sketchbook. And I lost interest in this sketchbook, and you can see it in the drawings that they were getting looser, but not in a good way. I was getting tired of the sketchbook, and I just wanted to finish it. But I didn't, because these were the last pages of my sketchbook. Yeah. A really bad drawing to end it off, and that's pretty much it. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed your stay and the video, and don't forget to check out my shop, which you can find in my link tree, which is found in my channel bio. I hope you all have a great day. Bye.